Hey everyone, welcome back to HD Reddit Reads. And today's topic is going to be, how do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? Let's get into it. There's no good answer to that question. A million different people may give you a million different signals / hints / signs that they are or are not interested in you romantically. What I found works for me, and what I think is the kindest, least awkward way, both towards yourself and other person, is to 1. Have some sort of consistently positive relationship / repeated interaction with them first, and then 2. In a light-hearted and friendly way and without implying any kind of emotional pressure, just ask if they'd like to go on a date with you. Use the word date. If they say yes, congrats, they're into you at least enough to give it a shot and see where it goes. If they say no, for the love of all that is holy, don't take it as a personal insult. It probably isn't. Keep it lighthearted and take the refusal with grace. They aren't into you, and throwing a tantrum over it or trying to pressure them further isn't going to help them be into you whatsoever. Usually the realization comes 10 years later when you're trying to fall asleep. Do they ever initiate the friendliness? Responding to someone else's kindness is a lot different than initiating it, but even still, the only sure way to know is to ask. There's a girl that I work with that has asked me to go spend the weekend with her in New York City, so I would assume that she's flirting / interested in me. I mean, she's kind of flirty with everyone, it just seems like she's more so with me. She's always making a point to talk to me, and I walk by and we're always making each other laugh anytime we talk. But I'm afraid of trying to make a move, as since I work with her and she's way out of my league. If they act the exact same way with other people, you're out of luck. Or everybody's in luck. I see you've also met my ex. Edit. Jesus, for every one of you that ended up dating the town bicycle and didn't know it going in, my thoughts are with you in these trying times. Also, get tested. Assuming the person is single or trifling, you ask to see that person again in different context. And the negotiation for available time and date is quick and mutually complete. No just friends overtone about it. Thursday at 8? Not available, not into you. Thursday at 8? Not available, but what about Friday at 9? Look for physical proximity and eye contact when totally unnecessary. Jealousy or defeat is subtle when interacting with someone else of the interested person's gender. Caveat all this with me being terrible about noticing it. My wife points this out to me when we're in public. Once I see it, it's obvious, but until then, it's a mystery to me. I was once called into HR for allegedly flirting with an employee, not part of my own team. For proof? I was always friendly. Offered her milk to go with her coffee, and worst of all, once at an after work, I bought a round of drinks for everyone, including her. The head of HR was a bit puzzled about the whole situation, and asked her what would she then suggest we do to resolve the situation, and she requested that I would stop being friendly to her, and just leave her be. Poor woman just could not accept I was being friendly. Alright, can I get a round for everyone? Everyone except Karen. Flirting's basically a dumb game of chicken with gradual escalation. Or just ask if they have an SO, usually pretty obvious. I've had a lot of people ask me this just because they're nosy, not a guarantee of attraction. By reading someone's comment on Reddit about how they missed all the signs, and then you realize that the same thing happened to you, and now you lie there contemplating your life, but you still can't be sure. Yeah, maybe she's Canadian and she's just being polite. Ask them. This is number 1. There was a waitress at my bar that my buddies and I had for like a year. I was into her, but couldn't tell how she felt. She was always fun and flirty, but I realized when she would just walk up to our table, laugh or make a joke, she would look at me. I assumed that meant there was at least a chance she liked me, so I asked her out, and she said yes. She was beautiful, had a great figure, and was super down to earth. She also turned out to be someone who loudly cheered at high points of movies, and I just did not need that in my life. We went our separate ways. Really, with some people, you cannot tell. I knew a girl who was super friendly with me. I got interested, and then a few weeks around her, I saw this was how she would treated every guy. Smiles, oh stop it you. Flirting. I wasn't special here. I moved on. I knew a girl who was friendly with everyone. We sat down at a birthday party and talked non-stop for 3 hours. She was friendly with people, but I hadn't seen her do this before. I got her number and called her. We talked until my phone died. Our 10th wedding anniversary was about 6 weeks ago. Our oldest kid turned 7 in a few months. It's not always easy. With my fiance, we started hanging out. I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug, then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before I finally kissed her at a party. I asked her about it afterwards, and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me, guys. I don't know, man. In high school, I went to a dance with a guy as friends, and then he kissed me as friends, and then we brutally effed behind the gym as friends, and we've been dating as friends for about 7 years, and we're getting married next week as friends. Plus, I'm knocked up with his babies as friends. You can never really know, man. Some people are in it for the long run. The friendly, honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice, someone I'd go out with, if you'd like that too. If they're already spoken for or disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention, if they sense you're being sincere. I've noticed women that have been interested in me have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women play with hair or adjust it more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign. As well, if they get under the table and start giving you head, also a clue. Flirt a little bit, and assess reaction. If they react anything less than politely, then that's a no. If they respond by blushing or they flirt a bit back, gradually escalate. Then straight up ask, I like you, can I interest you in coffee/date/dinner, etc.? I guess asking is really the only way to know. As a woman who is very friendly and has had some misunderstandings because of this, here's what I notice is different when I'm flirting versus being friendly. If I'm interested in someone, I'll laugh sort of leaning into them. When I'm not, my laughs are more throw your head back away from whoever I'm talking to. Relatedly, if I'm flirting, I'll find ways to make casual physical contact, like kind of lay my hand on their forearm when laughing or stand a bit closer so our shoulders touch. If I'm just friendly with a guy, I make very certain not to physically touch anywhere. If I'm making friends with a new guy, I'll very pointedly suggest we do things with a group. If I'm flirting, I'll suggest something that has more potential for us to be alone together. If I'm attracted to a guy, I often find myself posing. Like, I think it's subtle, but I'll tilt my head or readjust my hair into positions I know are more flattering. Hope this helps. I'm sure there are other things that I haven't thought of. Apparently, you can never quite tell. I go to this store quite often, and one of the cashiers said to me, "We gotta stop meeting like this," which to me, a guy means that you want to meet someplace that isn't there at that location. I said this on another post a while back, and someone told me, "Oh no, that wasn't a flirt. I say that to a customer all the time." And to me, that's a weird thing to say as a casual comment. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wasn't thinking about feeling it out anyway. She's attractive, but I don't want to date. I know they need to be friendly, and I encounter that all the time. That's a different kind of general friendliness. This, I wasn't sure how to take, but I left it alone. I had this same confusion. I had this really cute girl in a few of my classes last school year. Started liking her, but this year, I only had one class with her, and by now I fully liked her. And then I did a class change, and she wasn't in any of them. But the problem I had was she was literally the nicest person I know. I can't fully explain it, but she's never been rude. Always smiling, that whole thing. Along with that, I've never heard of her liking anyone else, so why would I be the first? Well, long story short, she actually did end up liking me, and we went on our first date a few days ago. Unfortunately, I don't have much advice on it though, lol. You don't. Everybody approaches it differently. You could give someone your number, ask them out on multiple one-on-one dinners, then find out they're not interested anyways because the word date was never used. No, I'm not bitter about a scenario that never happened to me. Shut up. The only thing you could do is be as forward as possible, even if it makes things awkward. No games, no beating around the bush, no assuming. It's not always easy to tell, and I think I'm especially bad at it. For example, here's a story I shared related to this. My sophomore year of high school, I had a couple of classes with a girl I had a crush on. Because teachers loved using alphabetical order there, she and I ended up sitting next to each other in those classes. We started passing notes in those classes, talking about random stuff and being a bit flirty. One day, I decided to get the courage to ask her if she wanted to go out with me, to a movie or something. So, I asked her out in one of our notes. She replies saying that she's really sorry, but she doesn't like me in that type of way. I was devastated, of course, but I also liked her as a friend and didn't want to lose that. So I replied saying that was okay and asking if we could just forget I asked and keep things the way they were because class would be so boring without our talks. She said yeah, that was fine, and we stayed note buddies throughout the year. Fast forward to my senior year, I had to repeat algebra because I effed up really badly my junior year due to some personal issues. I'm in a class with a bunch of people the grade under me, and I got seated next to this girl named Kate that I thought was so pretty. Like the other girl, we ended up passing notes to each other in that class, and I come to find out not only did I find her physically attractive, but she was also a really awesome person with similar interests. I really liked this girl and had crushed on her hard throughout the year. I would make her mix CDs that she would tell me she loved, and she even made me one a couple of times. I'd share with her stories I wrote and also art I was working on. The best part of my day was getting to talk with her during homeroom/algebra, but I was scared of even trying to ask her out because of how I misinterpreted things last time, so I never did. Came really close a couple of times, but never did. A year and a half after I graduate, I'm dating a girl from the same class as her, who had been a friend of mine for a couple of years. We're hanging out with this other girl, who was also in my math class, and she brings up Kate and asks why we never dated. I told her I didn't think she thought of me that way, and she was like, "Are you kidding me? She was so into you." At that time it didn't really matter anymore because I was in a relationship, but there was nothing I could do about it. But it did frustrate me how bad I was at reading signals. I mean, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I wish I had at least tried with Kate. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. It'll be greatly appreciated. And if you want to visit the original threads, I'll link them in the description. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.